Hey guys, great to have you here, and today we're going to talk about how to really get these irons pure. And one of the biggest problems that I see with solid contact is just basically stopping the body and throwing the hands of the ball. We all struggle with it, but a lot of times we don't know what we're exactly supposed to be doing to fix this problem, to get that great forward shaft lean, to get the club releasing in front of the golf ball. How do we actually make that happen? That's exactly what we're going to go over in this video. First, let me show you one that would be an incorrect iron swing, where basically I'm stopping my body. If you look at tour players, when they come into contact, their hips are going to be at least 45 degrees open, somewhere in that ballpark, right around there. The shoulders are going to be either square or slightly open. If I actually look at my square shoulders, so if I look at my shoulders appear to be square, that should probably be pretty close in this camera angle. My left shoulder is really protracted there. So if I'm looking actually from this face-on camera, my left shoulder is protracted. If I take my left shoulder back and I look at where my rib cage is pointing, it's actually pointing in front of the golf ball too. And this all goes into what we call the straight line release. So as I'm releasing this club, I want it to release in front of this golf ball. I have forward shaft lean at contact. I release that club out in front. And the way that I can do this is to get my hips and my shoulders opening up as I'm coming through contact. You can imagine, just like I was going to take an iron and just throw it right down the fairway. So if I grab an iron, I'm going to open up to where my hips and shoulders are opening. I'm just going to toss this iron right down the fairway, just like that. Probably wouldn't recommend doing that. You might break a club, but that's a sensation that you're having. Opening the body and letting that club release in front. The golf ball is just getting in the way. That's all that's happening. So how do I do that, and what does it look like when I'm not doing that correctly? The incorrect swing is going to be when my hips and shoulders stay more facing to the ball. The only way to keep the club moving forward from there, number one, I'm not going to be able to get the forward shaft lean, and number two, I have to push my club across my body. So my body's not leading the way anymore. If I keep pushing that club, I can either fold my left arm. That's where the chicken wing comes from. So if you're chicken winging, that's what's happening. The body's slowing down. You're pushing the club across your body. Or number two, if I don't get the forward shaft lean, I'm not even worried about that. I can go ahead and flip the club, and now my club flips up very quickly, and I get that negative shaft lean. The club's almost leaning back at contact. So that's the good way and the bad way. Now let's talk about what's the sensation that I want to have if I'm going to do this correctly. So I like to start out with just tossing a few golf balls. This works for iron swings, works for driver swings, even pitching. If I'm going to toss a golf ball down the fairway, if I just ask you to toss one this way, the first thing you're going to do is open up your body, and you're just going to toss it in that direction. Everybody tosses the ball the same way. They let their body open, and they just let it fly right down the middle. I tossed 3 of those balls. They're all within a couple feet of each other. Now, what would happen the other way, the wrong way? That's the right way, letting the body open, tossing that club down the fairway, ball just gets in the way. The wrong way would be me staying closed, getting very focused on trying to hit this golf ball. I'm keeping my body closed, and now I'm doing that, and I'm trying to throw the club or throw the ball across my body. Not going to be very powerful when that's happening. So do a good 15 or 20 of those. They look kind of goofy. Sit in your living room and toss them into the couch if you need to, but just get used to opening that body up. The second piece of that now is, let's go ahead and do the same thing with our club. I want you to grab one. Again, you can do these from your living room. Let's make some fluid, smooth practice swings, getting that same sensation of tossing that ball down the fairway when that's happening. A lot of times people ask me, how do I know how many of these I'm supposed to do? Well, just keep doing them until you get comfortable. As soon as you're comfortable, you're ready to move on to the next piece. This final piece is going to be coming down where we're out on the golf course. And what I want you to do is start out with some smooth swings, some 9-3 swings. I'm going to switch to my iron. I'm using for this video, this is called the Voice Caddy Swing Caddy 2. So people ask me all the time what I'm using in the video. It's a fairly inexpensive radar, very accurate for getting your club head speed and your ball speed. And it's pretty cool. So I got that down here today. I'll put a link down below in the description. I always get asked where you can buy these things, but I'll put it down in the description below this video if you guys are interested in that. And let's go ahead and put this to the test. We've opened the body. We've practiced doing that with a swing. Now, how do we do this in a real golf swing? Let's go ahead and make a half back swing. And then from there, I want you to really exaggerate getting that body to open up. Now, there's a few key checkpoints when you're looking at your video. So if you're videotaping your swing and you're checking that, I first want to look at the obvious ones, which are let my left or my right heel lift a little bit up off the ground. If this heel stays down, look at my hips. If I let my heel come up, my hips open. As I put the heel down, my hips close. So that's going to be the first checkpoint there. Right heel comes a little off the ground. at contact, your hips are going to be open. And then the last piece with this, your right arm has to be a little bit more bent. So if I'm casting the club, what I'm doing is I'm extending that arm and I'm throwing the club with my right arm. Notice how my elbow pit is dead locked straight and that club is leaning backwards a little bit. If I get this, and you'll see how my hips are closed too. As I rotate on open, the more open I get with my body, look how this arm stays a little bit more bent now. I'm a little closer to the ground and to the ball also. That's where you can get that forward shaft lean. You also notice how my left arm feels like it's across my chest this way. If my left arm is here to the side of my chest, then what I'm doing is I'm not opening. I'm staying square and I'm pushing the club. That's that chicken wing. When you chicken wing, that left arm pops off the chest. So left arm against the chest, right arm a little bit bent. Do a few more practice swings when you get to the driving range, practicing that, just feeling like you're brushing the turf as you're doing that. So again, the checkpoints are right heel comes off the ground, hips are open, left arm across the chest, right arm a little bit bent, and then that's when you're going to get the forward shaft lean. Now from here, we've got these key checkpoints, we've done the practice swings. Let's go ahead and do about a half back swing and really feel like we accelerate on through this shot. There we go. I feel like I really opened up on that one. My radar said 88 miles an hour of club head speed. I know that was probably a little past halfway back, but I really wanted to exaggerate in these short swings, opening up more and more. So I'm going to try to swing a little bit faster than that this time. I'm going to go a little farther back, and again, I'm going to really exaggerate opening up and accelerating through that golf ball. So a little bit more than a half back swing on this one. There we go, that felt really nice. Great acceleration, 96 miles an hour club head speed. And then finally, the reason I'm starting slow here is I want to get comfortable with slower swings and then I can build up longer and longer swing. So start out by working on these positions slow, gradually get longer and longer with more club head speed. Finally here, the last one, let's see if we can get the 7-iron almost up to 100 miles an hour club head speed. That would be pretty good. I think PGA Tour average is low 90s or so. So this would be really nice if I could get this body opening up, really accelerating on through there with some good forward shaft lean. That's about as good as I'm going to do. I don't know if I made it or not. Yep, 101. So pretty good club head speed. Again, that Voice Caddy 2, really nice. They sent me these. I've tested a lot. There's a great little device to work on your club head speed as you're swinging. So work on that drill, slow to fast, hit those key checkpoints. Man, you're going to really be compressing the golf ball. Now, what do we do if we're struggling to start the downswing? This is a two-piece to make this work. So number one, we talked about how to get the body more open, get that forward shaft lean, have the hands and arms leading the way as we're coming through contact. It's going to get us more speed, more acceleration. All that's going to be great. The second piece of this is what we call the move. So earlier in the swing, I want my club to shallow out, and I want more specifically this club face to square up earlier in the swing. So now once that face squares up, now I can really rotate on through there as hard as I want to. Look at guys like Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, you know, the top players in the world. They're squaring that face up early and really rotating on through there aggressively with their body. Well, I've got a great bonus video for you called the tennis racket drill, and I'm going to show you exactly how to square up this face early in the downswing so it makes it easier to then open the body like we talked about here today. All you need to do is click the card that pops up on your screen or the link down below in the description. You'll get instant access to that video, and when you pair those two things up, golf's going to get a lot easier and a lot more consistent. Let's go ahead and get started in the tennis racket drill. Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball, and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it. The flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be rotating my hand.